Okay, third time lucky. Good morning, happy Monday. I'm just processing what it is to really do these YouTube recordings and chatting to you every morning, dealing with the anxiety, which is so silly because why must I be anxious to speak to you when I'm not anxious to speak to my other loved ones and I consider you a loved one. So you're my fellow human in the world, and there's nothing I want more than to connect with you on a level of heart. So why must I be afraid to chat to you? It's all this intimidation that we have about showing up in a public platform. So this is something we all need to learn, and that is what I'm going to go into today and chat about. But to start off with, I just want to talk about what it means for me in this moment to be in the moment, because it is from that headspace, from being in the moment, and all the mystics and all the religions teach us the truth about being in the moment. Truth about life exists in this moment. If we think about the material world social system we've been living in, that makes us just crazy and chasing, and we never got enough time. And no, that's not where real life exists. That's dysfunctional. And I'm not going to start this tomorrow. My wisdom does not exist in the tomorrow. It exists in the now. This is where I am, here and now, and this is the part of me I want to share with you, and it is the center of my self-belief. Otherwise, I start questioning myself and doubt, and could that possibly be true? Well, there is a function for cross-questioning, but when we are in the moment, this is where we are at our highest awareness, devoid of delusion. And by God, we have delusions and illusions about how we're going to start everything tomorrow and one day and all these great things we're going to do. And what did God tell us? That this is no. None of that is true unless we're able to be in this moment. And that's the space from which I want to chat to you today. And I'd like to start off by grounding us in a prayer which came to me this morning as I wake up in alpha state, and I'm saying, what is it that I really want to share and be today? And this is what is really the manifest of my personal philosophy. May the love of God, which is our hearts, take over and rule this world. May the love of God, which is our hearts, take over and rule this world. That is 100% aligned to my life philosophy, my spiritual connection and understanding. Because even in terms of Christ and Christians, the love of God, which is our hearts, Christ is our hearts. Christ is not only Christians' hearts, Christ is all human hearts. See the difference? All human hearts. Christ is the love of life. Christ is the human heart. And that is why the true Christ message is universal. And take over and rule this world pertains to what I understand is where we're going. We're going through this tumultuous time in the world. It's kind of, like when you're in an aircraft and you go through vibrations and bad weather. That's what we're going through right now, because we are on our way to a heart-based creation of the planet in which we all partake. Okay, so that gives us a context of what I want to talk to you about today. In terms of where I am at, let me share with you. Gotta have a cup of tea. So cold here today. I cannot believe how powerfully transformational this process is and how much I'm loving it. Thriving makes me understand how much my soul has needed expression. And if my soul needs expression, then so does yours, my friend. The incredibly transformational quality of this process of making myself public as a person. And I'm going to use YouTube as the iconic example, but I mean all social media, so it doesn't necessarily have to be YouTube. But what if our destiny, think about this, nobody's ever put it to me in this way. What if our destiny is that we all have to go online? What if our destiny is that without a public persona that is well developed, and we find ourselves in cyberspace on the internet, and we have a presence, and we show up there, that is the language of the future? Well, don't we know this? But I'm taking it to its zenith, to its absolute maximum interpretation. What if we don't exist in the world in the future unless we have that public persona? What if we are all destined to be compelled, in order to live our lives effectively and to the max in the world, that we have to become YouTubers? Every single one of us. We have to enter the social media space and have a persona in that space. I'll give you an example. Yesterday at church, I bumped into a friend, someone I've been coaching, and she's going to Dubai, and with her husband, and her husband has a job, she doesn't. She said to me, she sees a problem because she's got no online presence at all. LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, nothing. How is she going to get a job? Well, precisely. This is a very real world problem. And I asked her, well, why doesn't she? No, she's very private and shy. That doesn't cut it anymore, guys. And I pressed in. Really? Does this intrude in the privacy of your personal life? No, you can have an avatar. Nikki Phoenix is not my real name in the real world. There are boundaries and ways in which we can keep our personal lives personal and our public lives public. So you can see that here, now I'm saying to her, well, you need to get onto social media. You need to have a profile. Oh no, she thinks, can't she just show up in a room, in a meeting room or at a reception? It's like, no, that's not going to cut it. These are real life problems that are coming front and center, where we are all compelled, and in the framework that I've presented, what if we are all compelled to exist and to live the life that we want to live and all those things we dream of, if we do not get online, if we do not have a YouTube channel, or even if it's a faceless thing, but a presence and sharing ourselves in the collective space that breaks down our personal barriers internally of being afraid to be seen. Also, Brenda spoke about this, being afraid to be seen. Why would we be afraid to be seen? It's that fear of cameras as well. You know, some people go, no, don't take a photo of me, don't want to be in the photo. Why? What's going on inside here? And that is why I am saying I'm experiencing this to be an extraordinarily spiritually transformational process. It's calling me out. It's calling me up. And actually, I'm getting to share my real self. You know what I love about it? You can't talk back. It's a one-sided conversation. Yay! I can just keep talking. Yeah, it's fantastic. There's no talking back. Of course, you can send me messages. That's so divine. As an expressive, it's absolutely amazing. So this whole spiritually transformational process of getting online, expressing yourself, and there's just so many aspects to it that make sense because, as Brenda says, it's the blue ocean. As I mentioned yesterday, there are no gatekeepers. So I love the metaphor of stepping online is like being in the analog world and the real material world. Is like being on the beach. And you put on your cozy and you wade through the surf and you swim out to sea, because the sea, the blue ocean, is the internet. It is the consciousness of mankind. It's the whole world has access to this, every person on the planet. And there are no gatekeepers anymore. You can keep going, swimming out to sea as far as you like. It's all yours. You can go on your lilo. You can take a cocktail. You can do it however you like to do it. Obviously, we know that there are sharks in that sea. And yeah, they're going to come for us at some point. But really, it's nominal. At the end of the day, we can put in safety measures, etc., etc. That's a manageable problem. But would I not swim out to sea and experience this extraordinary freedom and ability of just freedom of expression like has never been afforded to humanity ever before? And I can come and reach the world just directly. It's the most unbelievable blessing. It's the most incredible feeling to be able to do that, and to get back to the statistics for people who like the numbers, and to give us a concrete formula. As they say, of all the billions of people, let's just take YouTube right now, who are using YouTube, and has way long surpassed the usage of TV in terms of media. Only 5%, less than 5% actually, are content creators. So only 5% are feeding into the whole. You got the whole, and you got 5% who are feeding the whole that is creating the whole. You see, I see this in spiritual terms. The whole is God. The individual is us. So we feed, only 5% are feeding into the God space. That's the collective space, because God is the collective. That's not going to work. How can that ever work? You can't have 5% of people being charitable and holding up the world. That doesn't work. And therefore, if my insight and instinct and experience currently is correct, which is, what if our destiny is that we all have to be 100% present on the internet? Then we all have to participate. We all, on a spiritual level, are required to contribute ourselves, our true authentic selves, to the whole. That means I am saying that 100% of people must be contributing to content creation on YouTube, in terms of presenting themselves, their products, their lives, their authentic person. And that if we don't, number one, we will limit our lives. We will not achieve our dreams and our greatest desires in life. We will not have financial and spiritual freedom. And we will prejudice ourselves. That is what I'm saying. So we need to kind of get over our shyness, get over ourselves. It's the most phenomenal process. And I have to tell you, it's actually quite self-indulgent, because like I said, I just keep talking to the camera and to you as my prospective NBF and my loved one and my my fellow soldier in life in building this world, the new world that we're going to build. And I get to say whatever I want to say, and I just speak my heart, and it's absolutely wondrous. So, how do we do this? Let's move on to the next step. If you're buying into this idea and this vision, which I think comes from God, it is a spiritual idea that ultimately we all have to do this. I'm going to just say what I have learned. Number one, just dive in. Nike, which is also my name. Nike, just do it. Just dive in. They're absolutely correct about just diving in. Number two, figure out the hard stuff. Be prepared to be uncomfortable. Be prepared to be uncomfortable. Be prepared to feed yourself affirmations about, I can do this. Technology is daunting, but it's fine. I'm greater than technology. I got a brain. I'm going to figure it out. Number three, you don't have to buy huge, expensive seminars and workshops. It's great if you can, but you don't have to. You need, what I've been doing is using AI. AI can be your mentor. AI, you feed your strategy into AI, and AI will give you back. These are my talents. This is who I am. This is my dream. How do I get there? Just ask AI. It'll give you a beautiful plan. And maybe I haven't tried it on multiple platforms because I'm also just budding in this whole space. I will do, but it will give you a beautiful strategy and the most extraordinary potential for your life, because basically it's raising the bar of your life. You're taking your life from analog to digital. That's what you're doing. We all have to do it. It's transformative. And if you sit there in your echo chamber of your own minds, and with all your fear, which is natural, it's 100% natural to have all those fears, feeling so overwhelmed, so daunted. You sit there, how are you going to figure this out all by yourself? You know yourself, you know your talents, you know your challenges, you know your position in life, you know your pains, you know all this stuff. But you're going to go round and round in this echo chamber and you're not going to figure it out. Ask Grok, Claude, whoever you want to. Put those questions, those very specific targeted questions into AI, and he will give you at least a starting platform where you'll go, wow, that's a brilliant idea. When I put this all together, I had some inspiration and thought, well, maybe that's possible. But now he's tying it together, tying it together and giving me the full picture, beautifully expressed, very tightly explained, and the pathway forward, and he will take you forward. He will take you forward. Do you know what? They're going to kill me for this. It's God speaking to you. God created the internet. God has created AI. Look at the upside, how we can in real time communicate with collective consciousness. Do you know how powerful that is? You can tap into every mind and knowledge and wisdom that ever existed in this real-time moment, feed in your specific data, and it'll give you an answer for your life. Oh, guys, I just want to cry. It's incredible. It's incredible. I don't know if people are really getting this, and you don't have to go and do a $10,000 workshop or seminar to really get this. I haven't been able to do one of those, but I think that's basically all they do, and they condense it down into a couple of days. So it forces you into that process, but you can do it on your own. I'm doing it on my own. And then I listen to other YouTubers, and I think it's becoming the trend as well. Who can afford $10,000 seminar? when there's these micro offers that you can do, small little offers, and I'm going to do a small offer because what I want to do is, I've been working as a life coach now and training as a life coach. And so you don't need me for strategy. You can listen. You get all this collective information from me and a vision about why you've got to do this from me. You get it for free. You don't have to pay for it. Okay? So you get the why. You get the how, the strategy. But when it comes to the actual execution, in terms of your own blocks in your own mind, all that stuff that goes in here, no, I can't dive in, and no, and you're stuck, and you're dealing with emotional and personal barriers to actually diving in and getting it done. That's when you need somebody to hold your hand and walk you through that, and it doesn't have to cost you a fortune. And that's where I want to offer my help, in just micro offers at a small fee. Maybe we spend the weekend together and we work through some of the stuff that's really blocking you, and you release your soul, because the whole aim and target of this is to be able to open up your heart and remove all that baggage and pain, and use that information as a rudder and a compass for your life as to where you want to focus it and target it, and to love the world. My friends, like I started off by saying, let love rule the world. And the only way that love can rule the world is through your heart and mine. That's the only thing. We have to recreate a social order, recreate a political order, a religious order, all truly founded and based in universal love. And God is so intelligent, if we don't realize that by now, that He has a structure and a science to how we are to order and create this world that is just going to be humanely based, where we can all not only survive, but thrive. And that's my message for the day. Keep that vision in your mind. What if we all have to go online, otherwise we don't exist and our dreams will never come true? What if? Think about it, my friend. I love you. Bye.